Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to bring this city council meeting to order. We begin with the invocation by Commissioner Edward Isom, followed by the city manager, Mr. Little. All rise. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin. Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Isom.
Present.
Commissioner Kennard. Commissioner Singleton.
Present.
Commissioner Warren.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Mayor Mohammed.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Just a reminder, the technology calls for us to push the button. It does activate the camera system that zooms in on each speaker during the meeting on YouTube. So just please be mindful of that. And I ask that all electronic devices be silent or powered off. Thank you. This brings us to the approval of minutes, regular minutes, October 7, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is there support? Support. It is supported by Commissioner Isom. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard. Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry. Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to approval of accounts payable listing. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Isom. Is there discussion? Carrying none, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Kennard. Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to our agenda presentations. We will begin with a presentation from Benton Harbor Area Schools Master Facilities Plan. Please state your name and title. And Benton Harbor Area Schools, you do have the floor. You can pass them to the city clerk and she will.
Good evening, everyone. I am Deshauna Robinson, the current president of the Board of Education for Benton Harbor Area Schools. I would like to begin by thanking you all for an opportunity to speak this evening. I would also like to apologize for the absence of our superintendent. He did have a family emergency that required that he leave the state. However, I am fully capable of making the presentation. I will be before you very briefly. I just wanted to ensure that you all were aware that we are initiating our master's facilities plan. And so we have been attempting to promote this in every way that we have. We're using our online website. As soon as you come up to the website, there's a prompt there alerting you to take the survey. We're using our social media outlets, the press, and then we've also visited each municipality in the district in efforts to inform our public servants about the survey. And so I'm here for two reasons. One, to make sure that you all know that we hear you. As soon as I entered office, we heard concerns from not only the community, but the public officials about the status of the properties that we own. And so what we are doing is creating a master's facilities plan that will not only guide the active facilities that we utilize, but those that are currently sitting vacant. And so this is the survey that I brought to you all. It takes about 5 minutes for you all to take. We're asking for you to not only take the survey for us, but to also help us promote the survey when you're out in the community talking with your constituents, when they're expressing concerns about the properties and the buildings. Let them know that there is a survey that they can take to let us know what their thoughts are, their input. But also, it's very important that you all do take the time to take the survey, because we have received less than 200 responses. And so you all know it's sometimes hard to get members of the community to take the surveys, or the information is not getting to them. So I think it's very important that you all, as representatives of each of your wards and the community at large, you have those conversations with your constituents. You know what their concerns are. And so I think that each of your voices will ring extremely meaningful in the completion of the survey. The initial survey that we have is only for the active buildings that we currently utilize. There will be a second survey that will come out that will speak to the vacant buildings. We didn't want to overwhelm the community with too much at once. Sometimes when you have too many questions on a survey, people will give up. So we're starting with active buildings, and then we're going to extend to vacant. If you all think of things that are not necessarily in the survey, but you would like to share that feedback with us, feel free to either email myself or Dr. Butts. And that is essentially it. So I have additional copies of the survey here for the public as well. And if you all have any questions, I think just about everybody here has my phone number. You can either contact me directly or email me. And that's all I have, unless there's questions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
This brings us to our next agenda item, which is an update by our county commissioner, none other than the Honorable Mamie Yarbrough.
Good evening. Thank you, Honorable Mayor Marcus Muhammad, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Dwayne Seats, and Honorable Commission. I thank you for this opportunity. I know that the things, many of them that I tell you, are in the newspaper, in the Benton Spirit, on TV, on the radio, but I hope that I bring things to you with a personal touch. I can let you know how we got there and why, sometimes perhaps why we did what we had to do. And so I thank you for this opportunity and what I want to talk about. And I love to let you all know it. I hope I let you know before it happens and then what happened with it. And that's about the property in the city of Benton Harbor, the property in Berrien County. People are buying from all over the world. They don't see it. They don't even see it. There's a picture, but it's just a little flat, some grass or whatever. We need to be doing this. We need to be involved in the purchase. We had it already, the main one, and I would like to let you know that with that, there were 119 pieces of property in the sale. We sold 93 of them for a total of $2,435,335. This included Modern Plastics, which we have been in court with, and I don't know how high up we went, and all of that has been closed for many years. But our requirement was that this piece of property, Berrien County's requirement, after having looked at it at builders and contractors and different people that know, is that there are 7 parcels and they must all be sold as one bundle. We didn't want it split up or a piece of this and a piece of that. And so we didn't know what was going to happen because at, hours before the end of the sale, there was no bid on it. And when the bid came in, it was for $752,462.92. And I told him I can put the 92 cent in. That's about all I could do. But Harbor Shores, the conglomerate, we don't quite know, purchased this property. And then they know that we must go in the ground and see what's under there. Because it was a manufacturer, there's always waste and what happened with it. And so with many of our properties where there were factories, the things were dispensed into the ground. So all of that has to be done, has to be cleaned up, has to be made where it's safe for, we don't know if it'll be residents, commercial, because it's such a large piece of property, see it being many things, and it's right there on the Paw Paw River. It's going to make our community so beautiful as you just keep coming. Things will be developed. And then I want to let you know that we have a land bank, and I'm a member of the land bank. And every couple of years, there are dollars from the state of Michigan that communities can apply for. And it's for demolition and moving things that have been sitting so long. And we've done that at Lake Michigan College, but Martin Luther King, we did a lot of cleaning up behind that. And then people still dump things, but know that we are aware of things that need to be done. And we had applied for some dollars for demolition for modern plastics, knowing that it needed to be pushed over, that it was a danger and that people could go in it. There was a small fire there, just all kinds of things could happen. And so that too was tied to the purchase of the property, that it must be demolished and the property cleaned up. And we had applied for money from the state of Michigan. I don't know if it's called Land Bank or quite what department it was, but we were denied. And we were surprised by that. We were denied because that building has been there so long, boarded up, not being used. And in our paperwork, I know we said the court action is over. It now belongs to Berrien County and all. And just the other day, we were told that from the state of Michigan, we were going to that's what it is. The Michigan State Land Bank Authority Blight Elimination Program has received funding through the state and local fiscal recovery funds as part of the American Rescue Plan, and that's ARPA, to assist local land bank authorities with demolition and blight elimination products. And they're going to give us $2,600,000 to start working on Michigan. What is the name of it? I just had on the property that I've been talking about all this time, and then the name of it just left me. What can I think of it? And then I look here, I don't see it on my paper. Modern plastics. Thank you. So I wanted to let you know that. You've probably read this headline, that headline. But when you do those grants and things, they keep them, and that's a blessing to know that it can be used. And there are other things that we're going to constantly have to apply for. But that is what the county does. They come together with communities that have a need. Perhaps they're getting a street fixed, and it was the only time they'll ever do it, and they don't have the machinery, the computers and things to do that. With the county, it can be done, just push a button and everything they need comes out and it's completed. And so I just thank you for this opportunity to talk with you and keep in your mind and keep a little money in your pocket so that you can bid on some of these things. I want to let you know that our second sale, we have 26 properties that were not sold. It's land. I think there are no buildings on them. The sale is November 1st. And the amount that you will need to have to put down to be able to bid is $100, whereas in the big sale, it's $1,000. And people kind of grumble about that, but you got to have more than that to purchase it. And so this is on the computer. If you go on the computer, berriencounty.org, and go in the treasure section, underneath you will see foreclosed or tax sale property. Click on that and start looking or whatever, but you have until November 1st that day, and then at a certain time it'll cut off and they will look through, the company looks through and says who has each property. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This brings us to our public participation with citizens' comments. You have a 3-minute maximum per speaker. Please sign in with the city clerk, and she will call all participants or signees to speak.
Margie Swift.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here because the city put a roof on my house. I got gaps in my roof. I've been trying to get something done about it, but nobody want to help me. So I want to know who's going to be responsible for this.
Ma'am, during the public comment is for citizens or public participation. If you would like to have a response to your question, you can contact the city manager's office or the city clerk.
Already done that.
Denny Brown.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, everyone, citizens. Apologize for last week. I know I came in here and said I was going to be presenting evidence to show that the city was stealing from, certain people was stealing from the city by omission of the Civil Service Board. But things was going on, and I like to have things decent and in order. And so I've been trying to contact the city attorney. Me and her just spoke outside. Been trying to contact the city manager, and I called you once and I hung up. So, but I would like to schedule a meeting with you, Mayor Muhammad, to let you know what's going on. For the new people involved, Ms. Warren, Ms. Griffin, Ron, Edward, been coming out here saying it was illegal not to have a civil service board. And so the city attorney just advised me she's going to look into it and see. And that was the only thing since I've been coming down here, I asked the commission to just please investigate whether or not it's illegal not to have a civil service board. Everybody, I didn't have conversations with Muhammad. You said, look, they do not want a civil service board down at Benton Harbor. It's going to take more than just myself to get it back. I'm going to need help. Oh, well, somebody else. What's up, Ron? Haven't seen you in a while. Forgive me. Yeah, Ron Singleton. Me and you was in Reverend Very's office. Reverend Very called you in the office and asked you, do y'all have a civil service board? You said no. Are you supposed to? You said yeah. Well, why don't y'all have one? He said, well, they let the union, let Aggie trick them and vote it and take it away. That's the only reason they ain't got no civil service board down there. That's what he told me. So they're trying to put it, and then I have something where Watson said that they're relying on PARA, the unemployment, the right to unionize, to take away a civil service board. I'm just asking you, please, just ask the city attorney, are we acting outside of the charter? That's the only thing I've ever asked you to do, but no one will do that because it's an inside job. Ron told me himself, we know we're supposed to have one, but we ain't got one. You told me, we know we're supposed to have one, but it's gonna take more than just myself, Danny. They ain't gonna let me have one. Miss Henry, y'all voted on one, and I need to get with you, attorney, because they voted and passed a resolution to send this complaint on, and then I have in writing from the city attorney telling them, y'all don't know the magnitude of the vote y'all just passed last night. Y'all need to let him do his own legwork. So that's another, I mean, you passed a resolution and you go ahead and not do it, not act on your resolution. It's too many violations. And the only thing I ask is just ask, am I in violation? But no one will want to do that. That's all. You know, that's the only thing I asked you to do, Sharon. And you came back telling me, well, they was talking about your paperwork. It may not be authentic, and you're going to have to make sure the signatures on it is right. Then I said, well, at least I know you're having conversations with some people. It's a lot of people going to jail. Ron Singleton said on Facebook, it's a coward slithering around here, going around telling people I got my lieutenant stripes illegally.
Mr. Brown,
And I'm telling you, he got it illegally.
Mr. Brown, thank you for your,
I'll see y'all in a couple more weeks. Hey, Jane, even your kids stop speaking to me. That's when you know when the parents do wrong, when the kids stop speaking to you.
Madam Clerk.
O'Shea.
How everybody doing? I came up here to ask I just wanted to put something on the record. I did a FOIA request for the police department for an incident. Officer let somebody hit me right in my face in front of them. they told me that they deleted the video. Why would they delete the video when I did a police complaint form and everything that I'm supposed to done? And the law says that once I make a complaint, that they have to keep that video footage for up to 3 years. They said they deleted it the very next month. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why are they trying to hide something? Is it something that the officer did that he wasn't supposed to do they don't want me to show? Why would they delete my video footage? That's all I want to ask.
No more comments.
Thank you. This brings us to the consent calendar items. Are there any items that should be separated, or should the consent calendar be approved as presented? Is there a motion motion is made by Commissioner Henderson? Is there support? Support. Supported by Mayor Pro Tem Seats. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats? Yes. Commissioner Clark Griffin?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry? Yes. Commissioner Isom?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard? Yes. Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to staff comments. I'd like to recognize the Deputy Director of Public Safety, Deputy Clark. The Chair recognizes the City Attorney, Attorney Seneca.
Also, nothing to report this evening.
The Chair recognizes the City Clerk, Clerk Moore.
Thank you. We are about 2 weeks away from the election, and I strongly encourage anybody that has a ballot still out there to bring it in, bring it to our office, put it in the drop box outside, just to avoid a delay in the mail, especially if you requested one and it's just gone out in the next couple days. Please just bring it back in. We don't want to have late ballots come in. We want all of your votes to count. As far as absentees, we are about 50% returned right now out of 1,050 that were issued. Quite a few went out in the last few days, so we expect that to rise pretty quickly. We've been getting a lot in every day. And anybody that wants to come in and vote in person via absentee can do that in our office. Early voting begins this coming Saturday at LMC Todd Center.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the City Manager, Mr. Little.
I received notice this afternoon from the Michigan Department of Transportation that our grant of $200,000 for the sidewalk project on Empire was approved.
Director Little, if you could just speak to the CDBG report.
As many of you know, at the time that following the coronavirus thing, the city's CDBG grant from HUD was suspended and had not been able to expend any funds on that grant for quite some time. We had a listing of things that had to be corrected before we would be able to start to expend monies again. We moved methodically through that, getting the policies and procedures done, the other things that were required done and out of the way. And the last big item was that we were basically on probation to expend the required amount of money, which is typically 80% of all funds available to the city by May 5th of each succeeding year. We had not done that in many years, but and the first couple of years we couldn't do it because we had over $2 million that was available from the years that it stacked up. This past year, we succeeded in surpassing that final hurdle, and meeting the spending requirements. We received a letter from HUD basically saying to us that the city had met all of its requirements in all categories, including the expenditure requirement, and that we are back in good standing.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Fourth Ward Commissioner Clark Griffin.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'm a little tired. I just got here at 2:40 in the morning from Alabama. We there from Friday, Sunday, then Sunday we drove to Tennessee, so I don't have much to say. I just want some rest. I'm glad. But everybody have a good night. And just what's going on Fourth Ward, I am working on the Fourth Ward senior care package and toy giveaway. So that's all. Have a good night. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Third Ward Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to thank the residents for coming out. And for the two residents that came up and had some concerns and you did not get a response, that is normal for this meeting. But I'm asking through the chair that their concerns are answered. They're at least have some conversation with someone. If they've already contacted the city manager and they're still coming here, that means somebody else needs to intervene or some other action needs to be. The question has to be answered when they come to this podium and ask anything. Somebody, staff should answer it. So I'm asking through the chair that the two citizens reach out, the city manager reach out to the residents and solve their problem. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just really get pissed when I see they get no response and they say that they keep asking for it. And that is not acceptable to me, and it should not be acceptable to any elected official.
Do you relinquish the floor?
I do. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Second Ward Commissioner.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out, and I wanted to quickly talk about our October 19th yard sale. It was a beautiful event. We had 27 vendors. So if you guys were not able to come, we're going to try to do that yearly. So we'll do it again next year. It'll probably be more in the summer. But it was a great event, and like I said, hopefully you guys will come out next year. The next thing that we'll do in the Second Ward will probably be another town hall meeting. So I will be getting a flyer made and a location for that soon. And that is all I have. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Warren. Chair recognizes First Ward Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, and I'd just like to thank all of the residents who came out tonight and for everyone who had comments. I just wanted to talk briefly about a couple events that have taken place. Last week there was a community prayer service held at Second Baptist Church where all of the churches in the community came together and had a wonderful prayer service of unity, which all came about to address some of the violence that has occurred in our community. And so several leaders began meeting, and that was one of the results. And so on this week, Thursday, October the 24th, there's an event called Back on the Block. It'll be held at Roy Shern's parking lot, actually in Ward 1, where those same leaders will be doing a community cookout from 5:30 to 7 p.m. in that area, doing some community outreach and engagement on this Thursday. And then on November the 3rd, there will be a community forum with different panelists from 1 to 3 p.m. at Beautiful Gate Church. So those are the things that's happening, and thank you, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Kennard.
All right. Thank you. I'd like to say thank you all for coming tonight. And I want you to know I hear you. I hear those that are the ones that we go knocking at doors and asking you to vote for us. And once you ask us to vote for us, a lot of times when they get in the seats, it's almost as if they think they put themselves in those seats. We've got to be sensitive to our community because a lot of us will run another time and they'll ask for the votes of the community. We got to remember they are important. And this young lady has come and mentioned about a house, and we tell her the steps to make. She's already made those steps. So we should ask the persons that they went to, why haven't they investigated and worked on the problems that these people have? This is what we should do as commissioners. Ask them why haven't they gotten an answer for these people that are asking questions. Now, one of the things that I see too is that we're fixing the streets, fixing the alleys, and we're not using the equipment we have to keep the streets clean, keep our drains open, and you're going to end up with the same problem. Drains clogged with leaves and everything and all. You got to have, why buy the equipment if you don't have anyone to run it? So I purpose in my mind, I've already did some work on my curb because it didn't come down all the way to my street. But I'm going to make mine stand up out like the rest of them. And I'm going to invest in trying to get a street sweeper, a little small version of it, and give the city of Benton Harbor a lot of news. Anybody that will take the news, send a newsletter out. This is what we do as residents, trying to hold up our integrity and making our city stand out and look good. We've got to make them know that people are watching, they're looking. We don't have enough money. What happened to the money? There should be, the city manager has a way of setting up things in order so that they got a program to pay for everything that year. So, in other words, I don't know what's going on, but I want you to know that I hear you. I'm the old girl on the block, just new coming in, so I'm not politically correct, but I know right from wrong. And I do hear you, and I'm going to investigate, just like I have O'Shea. I saw some things going on with him, and I'm going to look into that. And it's best that all of us try to work with our residents. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you for the update from the President Robinson from the school board. Commissioner Yarborough, like always, thank you for your update. I'd like to thank everybody for their comments. I know Ms. Margie been telling me about this roof, and I told her to go see the city manager about the situation, so I'm sure he's doing his due diligence on looking into that. From the Personnel and Finance Committee, the general fund received $1.3 million in summer property taxes in September, which is the majority of the summer property taxes. The utility fund cash collections were $400,000 in September. So the money is coming in. We're still playing catch up, you know, to get our utility fund restored. So, but we getting there. The MLK unveiling is November 19th, and Martin Luther King Jr. III will be here speaking at the college, and he'll be here on the 18th, meeting with I think Pastor Robinson, and the unveiling will be November 19th of both statues of Martin Luther King in the Benton Harbor. I hope you drive by there. You're seeing progress being made, and and feel some kind of way that you're being a part of something that's big, you know. There's nothing like this in the country, 2 Martin Luther King statues in 2 cities. So we hope to bring people together that day. It's gonna be a whole day of activities at the college and the walk from St. Joe to Benton Harbor for the unveiling in Benton Harbor. So, and that's it, you know, just come together, you know. Come together, you can win. Nothing like winning. We can all win together. God bless you. Expect great things.
Thank you. Chair recognizes at-large Commissioner Singleton. I just would like to say I was going to move to censor Commissioner Isom if he said "Go Lions."
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the commission and public. Thank you for coming out. I hope you, those who do have some concerns, hope you do get your answers. Keep at it, and hope you get your answers. I was going to speak on what the one gentleman said, but I won't do that. But I would say that since you brought my kids up, you know, my kids never met a stranger. You know, they speak to everybody. You know, that's the way they was raised. So I'll just leave that there. There's a lot of things voted on tonight. You know, I have been looking at the agendas and the things that was coming forth, and that just shows the continued progress of the city. It'd be good to see these projects come to fruition, much needed, and I'm glad they were passed unanimous tonight, and looking forward to the groundbreakings.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mayor Pro Tem Seats.
Guess we gotta hold this button. You can't hear nothing. All right, there you go. Wonderful meeting. Thank everybody for coming out. You know, if you're looking for a perfect commission, you'll never find one. Everybody wants perfection from somebody, but they don't want to be perfect. I do appreciate everything that I heard tonight. I'm thankful for every commissioner that plays their part. Even with the gardens that are in Benton Harbor, that we do have to say that Ms. Kennard started it and made it happen for the whole city at large. You know, a lot of people are now getting money for it, but she started it. You know, and people are now saying they represent Benton Harbor, but never have come to the city of Benton Harbor to even play a part in trying to partner with Benton Harbor. So I do want to give you kudos on that. Benton Harbor is moving forward. The roads have never looked better. The sidewalks have never looked better. And I'm not talking about downtown. I'm talking about uptown. I'm talking about in the inner city. Things are looking better. Mayor Yarborough Park is going to be extravagant. I'm looking at the building that's going up there now, and they got the fish station, and they're putting a bathroom up there, and Union Park and Broadway Park has come to fruition. That's not downtown Benton Harbor. That's in the city Benton Harbor. And it's one thing to say something when something is going bad, but there's another thing to say when something's going good. And that is a good positive mark for the city residents of Benton Harbor, because I don't see a lot of St. Joe residents using Yarborough Park in the summertime and in the springtime, and in the meantime, I don't see a lot of them using that park. And so to see the beautification, but then after the beautification comes maintenance. We cannot expect things to come and then we don't take care of it. And if something happens good for you, then there's nothing wrong with, number one, that's what my late godfather said, and when something happened, when somebody does something that they don't have to do, there's nothing wrong with saying thank you. But then also, there's another part of saying thank you, meaning that we maintain it. And so we can't expect people to do what they do and then we don't maintain it. I appreciate everything that I've heard. My biggest concern is not just children, but it's adults. If the adults are fighting one another, if the adults can't get along with one another, then how we expect children to get along with one another? If we have leaders who don't get along with one another for all their own innuendos, but then expect children to do something that a leader is not going to do, then how do you expect them to do something different? Yeah, I know it's quiet, but I'll be all right. So if we can't do it, I can't expect children to do it. This week has been a great week. We've had people come from out of town and everywhere else trying to build a unification in our community, but if we cannot do it ourselves, we cannot expect nobody to do it for us. Thank you, Benton Harbor. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, for representing us everywhere and making Benton Harbor look better everywhere we go.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Seats. I have no comment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion is made by Commissioner Isom. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Singleton, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennard, Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats, Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried.